let's bring it in. Let's hone it in, man. MIC podcast, man. Episode 114 of them things on your head. Community, content. You get it all here. Our guest today, man, is a dude I'm pretty excited to sit down with, man. Just in my research again, I was just kind of doing my deep dive, going through what I'm supposed to go through, and I'm just like, yo, like every time I'm like, I stumble upon something, I'm just like, yo, this nigga can, yo, he's got something, you know what I mean? And I always love, just like feeling that when I'm about to interview a guest, just because I'm like I just kind of get killed, like I'm just like, okay, like I got like all these questions to ask, just like about your process, about like where your headspace is at, bro. But without further ado, we got the man Soulful Tone in the building, man. What's going on, bro?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Chilling, bro. Again, one more dab for the camera, bro. It is good to see you, my nigga. I think, like the last time I saw you was the first time I, met you. Yeah. Facts, but nah, man, like, you just been, always showing love, obviously, like, to the pod, and like, we've, kept in touch since then, what I mean? But like, it's good to, have you back, man, and just, get a lot of people to, just get a better understanding of you, bro.
Well, like you said, my name is Soulful Tone. I'm right over here from the north side of Pittsburgh. Been making music now for about 3-4 years.
Right.
When everybody was in lockdown, that's kind of when I found my passion.
Right. You started locking in.
So, I started out in poetry, and then I kind of just translated into, finding tight beats on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And so it's just something that's always been around me. My dad's a self-taught musician.
Okay.
Taught himself how to play the drums and the bass, play by ear. Got a lot of family members involved in music. My cousin B with the Heat, producer. Got uncles, my Uncle Vern's a producer. Whole lot of people always.
Yeah.
So it's something that's like at some point in life it was going to be something I ventured into.
No, of course, man, and no, we're definitely going to get into the background of it all. As you just mentioned, you're from the north side of Pittsburgh, bro. Like, how was it growing up there? Like, what part specifically in the north did you grow up in?
It's calm. I'm like 5-10 minutes away from North Shore for real.
Mm-hmm.
So it was calm growing up. I've seen it go through its its changes.
Of course, yeah.
Gentrifying gentrification is definitely hitting this side of town right now. But growing up, I enjoyed it. I'm not in the mix. You feel me? Like,
sure, right.
My streets kind of like in the cuts a little bit, so it was peaceful growing up. But I mean, a 2-second walk, you could.
Yeah, nah. Right, you just gotta watch where you at, right?
Yeah, that's not my life, so I kind of avoided going to certain places I know I wasn't supposed to be at.
Yeah, facts.
But it was great growing up, man. So for high school, for starting off as a young boy, I went to St. Benedict over on the Hill District.
Okay.
Started out my Flames out there. Then high school, I went to Central Catholic over in Oakland.
Okay.
Shout out my Vikes. And then I've been back in the city for 2 years now. I graduated from Howard.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Congrats, bro. Howard. Shout out to DC.
My Bisons.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just been my, my path through school and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely more north side, born and raised.
No, facts.
Sure.
And like I know, and like that was actually just even like one of my early questions here, just like were you the only person in your family to like show an affinity for music? But I mean, you just said like your dad was a self-taught bass player, my nigga.
Bass and drums.
And bro, just off the bat, like those are two of the hardest instruments to drums are just kind of like you can do anything with drums, but then I think that's also, that goes with any instrument. Let me not just put the drums, but with drums specifically, it's just like, I don't know. It just feels like there's too many routes to go with the drums to self-teach the drums. Like, it's crazy.
I don't really know his process of doing it.
Yeah.
But, I guess that's something I could deep dive into. No Diddy.
Yeah.
I know how they get out here, man.
That's crazy.
You got them crazy out here. But that's something I could definitely ask him more about his process of doing that. But yeah, man, I don't know. The dude's just like, he hears it and he can play it. It might take him a second, but he can't really read music.
Yeah.
That's something that I kind of hear a lot is like the best method is people just kind of teaching themselves how to play.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I know that are able to play don't really know music theory.
Right. And bro, I was really about to say, bro, I've watched this man teach himself piano.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it's just like, we've like had a conversation just even like with him and his the producers that he works with, Sharon. Bro, like, you may not necessarily need to know, because like I've literally seen my like translate like I just want shit to sound like this. Yeah, I mean, like, he may not necessarily know, like, the technical, like, raise the B flat wave, like, or just, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I know what is in my head. Like, I know obviously it's possible. I just want to, like, sound like this. And then, tag in Shrine, obviously the technical of the half, because, like, on some degree you need it, you know what I mean? Just be able to, like, literally translate what you like, want done. But to your point, bro, I don't, like, in just your dad's skill set, bro, like, I don't necessarily, like, I think that almost, like, the technicality of the things, like, holds you back in a sense, because, like, you can just approach it, like, way more freely.
No, I definitely could agree with that, man. So I too am not one who knows all the technicalities and stuff. But like you said, it is important to have, like, a trained ear.
Yeah, right.
Like, because I play around with, like, I record myself at the crib before I go to an engineer. But in the process of it, like, I don't do a good job engineering myself because I don't have a trained ear, and I feel like knowing the technicalities of these things, like, like, your track is muddy, so you need to work on this sound.
Right, yeah.
I've had engineers explain it to me, and it's like I understand it in the moment, then going to try to apply it, it's like it's still not really connecting all the dots.
And then also, like, again, it's your voice, bro.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna know what works, and again, it might not be the most technically sound, but if you can, like, like, it's your voice, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you know what your voice needs. You know what I mean? Like,
but then it's just like, I'm also extra. I feel like most creators are their biggest critic.
Sure, I mean, yeah, absolutely, right, definitely.
Unless you're like, not a healthy amount of, the unhealthy amount of delusion where you think everything you create is just, like, top notch.
Yeah, right.
As an artist, you need some level of delusion.
Yeah,
for sure.
need it, bro. Yeah, it's a necessity.
But yeah, like, in the process of making stuff, I always kind of am my own biggest critic. So, like, my dad, I'll play stuff for him, and he's told me when my stuff's not it, and he always just says, like, man, this sounds good, but when I hear it, I'm like, nah, this is anything, like, this is not it. And then, like, I'll play them somebody else that I'll go to, a different engineer, and they'll say, I don't see no difference, and, like, I see a difference.
Yeah, right.
He be hyping a little bit, but like, I still don't hear the stuff I work on as, at the level of others, just being my own biggest critic.
Nah, for sure, bro. And just even speaking again, just like with your relationship with your dad, I'm like, how young were you? Like, did you that, like, you realized that, like, damn, like, my dad plays all these instruments? Like, when did that kind of, like, dawn on you? Like, damn, like, it's kind of crazy.
I don't know if it was ever really, like, a realization like that, because he kind of instilled, like, music to an extent in me, like, since I was young.
Yeah.
So, like, he had me playing the drums as a 1-year-old, before I could even, really do much. I'm sitting there banging and crying when he's trying to take me off the drum set and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's also always one of those things, like, okay, yeah, my dad, he's like that on the sticks. He's like that with the bass. So it's like, it was never like I woke up one day and was like, oh man, he does this.
Yeah, like you ain't know before, but like you woke up the next day, he's like, oh wait, now I know.
Yeah, he's always been in bands. So it's just something I've always been in front of.
Okay, yeah, facts.
I always, had an appreciation for it.
That's dope. Like, where would he usually perform? Like, just like a church, or like, I mean, like, did he perform at all much, or
stuff like that? Yeah, different bars around the city.
Okay.
I think one of his first bands that at least I was around for was called Love Train. And so he's been a part of some. He's usually the drummer, and I think in the last band he was playing with, he was on the bass.
Okay.
He had me trying to kick it on the drums. But,
okay.
I'm still refining some of my skills.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, so primarily I would say, like, bars and events like that.
Okay,
church,
copy.
Okay.
Sometime
for sure. Yeah.
Were you able to see him perform at any of them? Well, like
what, you said, did I see any of them?
Yeah.
I saw a couple of them, but most of them.
I was about to say, like, he offered you to, like,
most of them were before my time, but through growing up, I did get a chance to catch a
Okay,
couple
dope. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, nice. I mean, no, I'm glad. I'm just like, I'm sure, like, that's like a dope moment. Just like, just like follow the song files. Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, man. So just kind of like, fast forwarding. I know you said you kind of started off with poetry initially. You know what I mean? So, like, how early did that start? How early, like, did you start writing?
I really don't know. My first memory of really getting into writing was probably in high school. I was in the Harlequin, and it was our program. I think we called it. It was just like our poetry publication that we put out for the school. So that's the earliest memories I have of starting to get into poetry. And then I also took a course while I was at school, an elective. And it's crazy because I went to school for business management, but my favorite classes that I took there were the music class I took
right.
and the poetry class I took. Like,
is this for high school or college?
College.
Okay.
Okay. So I started really writing in high school.
Okay.
And then again, like I continued to do so, in school. College,
right.
Elective, and it's just something I would just do on my free time. But like with that, taking that poetry and trying to turn that into music in my early stages was kind of like I was just throwing words on a beat.
Sure, right.
A song.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that's natural when you're just starting out with music.
Right.
It's kind of something you have to learn to make something that sonically sounds good.
Sure, right.
But yeah, early stage I was just like trying to throw words that I wrote down in my notes and just slap it on a beat without any structure to it. But through reps you kind of
through reps, not facts. Sure. Was I know like when you were writing poetry in high school, like what was like the core nature of it? Like what experiences were you pulling from? Like what were like the topics really?
I would say it was a little lighthearted.
Okay.
It wasn't like, I'm not saying I've never been through anything.
No, sure.
I've been privileged. I've been blessed to grow up in a household I grew up in, and just the environment holistically. So it wasn't a bunch of pain. My pain for the most part is like through love experiences.
Right.
Like can really connect to somebody through hardships and that type of stuff. So most of them were kind of lighthearted, like writing haikus.
Yeah. Writing high IQ poems.
Yeah. But this I can't even remember some of my poems.
No. I'm like I don't expect you to. Yeah.
But it definitely is pretty lighthearted.
Yeah. Okay.
When I was in school writing assignments, this is when it started to get a little bit more like real world problems. I think one of them was around the time of like a little after the election.
Right.
My freshman year, I think, is like a year after Trump had.
Okay, yeah. No, so that was crazy. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, man. So and it's about to be election time again.
It definitely is. And that nigga's definitely about to be president again, which is going to be crazy. Nigga definitely coming back.
You might hit that button. If you don't turn into a dictatorship before you leave, bro, if you don't try to...
That nigga definitely going to swing back.
He might hit that button.
That's crazy as hell, bro. Did you ever get a chance to perform any of your poems, like events or like slam poetry?
Yeah, so when I was just starting out, there was Community Forge over, I think it's Wilkinsburg, at like an old school over here.
Okay.
Shout out Jaquia May.
Big shout out Jaquia May, man. I know that you know Jaquia.
She's extremely talented,
bro. What?
Not even just like on the music tip,
bro.
Being
stop,
a host,
bro.
I've never heard
easily the most soulful presence, crowd control. Like people like hang on to every word she's saying. Like
shout out,
a big shout out, man.
No, for sure. So I think it was either the first or second time I had one, and I got to get back over to one of them. It's been a minute because I just started getting into performing my own sets and everything.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, early out, sometime last year, I did one of my poems that I kind of created, the one that was like around election time.
Okay.
So that was a good experience. I definitely enjoyed that.
Nah, facts. So just even, I actually do want to because I am curious, like, why'd you choose Howard? Like, what made you want to go to Howard for college?
I went to Howard for, I'm not gonna say strictly for football, but I did have a scholarship there.
Oh, for real? Oh shit! Okay, I didn't know that you played football.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was balling there. So coming out, that was like my only Division I offer. And so like my dad was, because I'm not like, I knew about HBCUs.
Yeah, right.
Coming out of high school, but not
bro,
super
like
educated.
that's unfortunately like the case.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's just like, if you know, like obviously like I'm sure like there is some funding going into like putting the name of HBCUs out there. Sure, like I'm sure it's improved over just kind of landing where we are now in like modern times. But it's just like, bro, like you kind of like got to do a little bit more digging than like you would for like your University of Pitts or like or just any other PWI. So
for sure, no, you ain't lying. So but I did go on a Black college tour. What was that, like my senior year, and that's what kind of got me privy to the HBCUs. And then I remember Howard, I think North Carolina A&T were the two that stuck out to me the most. And then so my junior year, summer going into my senior year, they had offered me a scholarship, and they was talking the most money. So it was kind of like my dad was in my ear. Hey man, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah.
Who else gonna be around? So that's why I kind of like jumped the gun on committing near fast. So like I don't have any regrets about going there.
I mean, bro, you fuck no.
Yeah,
I mean, why would you?
I had an amazing time there.
Yeah.
COVID did affect those experiences.
I was about to say, but like, when did you graduate?
I graduated in 22, so my
22. Okay, yeah, it was COVID.
Was the COVID year.
Okay,
it was like second half of my sophomore year.
Okay,
and junior year I all
that's T in college, bro. That's ass, bro. That's T, bro. I couldn't imagine. Nah, you couldn't. I could.
Yeah,
I was right before that era.
It was horrible too because it was coming right off of like, I don't know if I'll get too deep into it, but like the fall semester of my sophomore year was like one of the worst time periods of my life. I was dealing with injury, so I had just had a knee surgery. And injury depression is real, and definitely would need like a 3-hour episode to break down the atrocities of that football program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too deep into it.
No, I mean, bro, like you were there on the scholarship, and like, I mean, like now your shit is injured. Like that's fucking crazy.
It was bad. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know, for all the athletes out there, if you ever get injured and your coach makes you sit in the stands, it's a different feeling.
Damn.
Injured players, bro,
sit in the stands, not on the bench.
Not allowed to be.
That's crazy.
On the field,
that's
bro.
T.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm probably exposing truths that
I don't think that's a crazy like truth expose, but
about the getting.
No, but I mean, bro, like
but it is
I mean,
it's foul.
I can understand, like that's crazy, my nigga. Like at least like let me get on the. I mean, bro, Ben Simmons is on the bench, my nigga.
Bro,
Stand
is wild. Bro.
Yeah,
it make you feel
it's
like,
crazy.
What am I here for?
Yeah, right.
So that was just sophomore year was a bad time. Then as soon as weather start changing, start getting nice out. Spring semester's coming around, boom, sent to the crib. Bro.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know, it was a weird feeling. You know how in the newest Broly movie, when like all the Saiyans got called back to their planet, Frieza, tore that joint up.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like that feeling is how it felt when everybody was coming back to their dorm to like get all their stuff and move. I don't know.
Damn,
why, it just felt like it was
the Saiyan execution, bro. Yeah.
Like
stupid monkeys. That's crazy. Nah, facts. No, man. And just even kind of like leading up to when you started making music. Like, was that after like when did football just kind of be removed from the equation for you? And then like when did you decide to like start pursuing it? Because I know you started about 4 years ago now. And if you just want to speak on as well, and this is kind of a long-winded question, excuse me, but like just kind of what the mentality was, for you when you started to pursue music.
So honestly, when I got started in music for the wrong reasons. Like the first time, I think I just made a jam. I was just in dorm. It was like right before COVID was about to happen. I kind of just like found a type beat. I was bored in the crib. I think it was like sometime before or after my surgery. I can't remember exactly.
How so like you were still kind of injured during this time. Okay, copy. All right.
I was definitely either post surgery or
okay, but like regardless, you were still coming off the injury though. Copy.
So
okay.
It was in that time frame, and then it's kind of like I just I just made a jam, and then something in my head clicked where it's like, well, now I need to make music so I can be known for something. And it was like I started for the wrong reasons because, like I said, I'm around a bunch of great people in my family who are have names or remember for things. Not only did my dad do music, he's also got a neighborhood name over on the Hill District. That's where he grew up, Bodio. He was a crazy athlete.
Yeah,
baseball, softball. He's just
damn.
My uncle Greg. His jersey's up in Ammons.
That's crazy.
So it's just like I'm just surrounded by greatness.
Yeah, right.
So it's like I've always been good at things, but not many things I've ever like at least would consider myself super great at. And so I kind of got into music. Like, all right, well, sports was like, okay, I did it. I'm cool at it, but it's not like I'm not a star player, nothing like that. So I adapted music like, okay, this is going to be my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so like off the rip, I'm already consumed in validation and everything. Like
right,
so
right.
That was a whole thing, overcoming that, that whole span of time there. But that's kind of was my mindset getting into it. This is what it is. This is what's going to make me rich. This is how I want to feed my family.
Right.
And I noticed in that time I wasn't making the best art. You know, I'm not saying it was trash, but
yeah, right. And you're also just starting something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
So
right.
I was just starting out, already trying to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, thinking like, this is how I gotta feed my family.
Right.
So it's just like off the rip. I mean, obviously, there's people who rap like the Rins do type thing.
Right, yeah.
So like there are positives that come out of pressure, but like it wasn't the right thing for me.
No, yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
like,
the right motivation for me.
I think you had like the end goal in mind. You know what I mean? And it's just like I also thinking like I also want to get your opinion on it. Like, do you think that maybe that like haste was kind of fueled, you know, obviously like by the injury, like just kind of like with a chip on your shoulder, just kind of like a reactive statement, just like through your music that like you wanted to achieve?
I think it's just kind of like my upbringing and family situation as a whole. So I won't get too deep into that, but like I feel as whether people give it to me or not, I take the responsibility to like being somebody who could bring like lift the financial burden off of people in my family. And so like I've always kind of, I don't want to get into that cliche like the chosen child.
Yeah, right.
Just like I definitely feel like through the privilege,
There's an amount of pressure on you. Right.
Through the privileges I've been granted with, it's my responsibility to pay it forward and be able to put my family in a better spot.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have, since I was young, I always had expectations on me, whether it's grades, just, you know, fitting this image.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's always been like, how are you going to like pay off my bills type of thing, you know, whether they say it in a joking way or a serious way. It's just, I kind of take it to heart, and it's something that I already want to do.
Right.
And so like when I was like, just got the idea that maybe this could be it.
Yeah, first.
I kind of, you know, let that be my motivation. But then music is a feeling, and it was something I was like forcing for a moment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When
Okay.
I first got started out.
No. And just real quick before we you know, kind of move forward. So like after that injury, like was football just down for you completely?
Yeah, I forgot you did ask that.
Yeah.
I forgot to
No,
answer that.
I mean you're good.
You're
We're
good.
just we're chilling.
Football was after I had that last surgery and we went into COVID. My knee never properly healed. So when I came,
damn, why? They
it just, I'm gonna say it was my own fault.
Okay, yeah.
It was my own fault.
Okay.
And so when I got back to school senior year, I decided to medically retire.
Okay.
And I just kind of helped out filming and everything. So I got a little bit of camera work.
Okay, yeah, okay, word, all right.
But yeah, I just kind of helped out to kind of continue to earn my scholarship.
Okay.
But yeah, football was a dud, really. After that junior year being at the crib, it was like there was a slim moment where I was like, all right, I'm gonna still try to come back and play. And then I was like, nah, I've been too far removed.
Yeah, right, yeah. So just nah, I feel that. So after you know, obviously like you started making music, like, and you know, you just reflect that like when you started that you may not have started for the right reasons. Like when did you realize that? Like how early on did you realize that? And then I don't know, what did your pivot look like from that moment on?
I would say I just seriously started pursuing music within the last year and a half, 2 years.
Fair.
So my first drop where I feel like it was like me on the mic was when I dropped Nutritious Love was November of 22. So
22, yeah.
Going to 2023.
Cause like I saw on IG like your post when you were like like I'm really about to start was like 22, but then like I was on your Spotify, I was like you had dropped like 2 years, but like no a year before that in 21.
I think I dropped a one jam, a song I made with my friend Nando.
Yeah, which bro, and I was like, this is his first song.
And
I was like, this is his first song.
That was the first song I dropped under Soulful Tone.
Yeah.
Before Soulful Tone, I was TNT Savage.
Okay.
That's like when I first started making music, I was doing the rapping.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just like, there's some rap cap tucked away in the chain.
Yeah. Okay.
Here, but it's like when you listen to all the others, like all the music that's out there, was your influence. Like I know that's not my life, so I was making it, but I always knew this is not what I'm gonna put out to the world because it's not me.
Right.
But it is fun to make sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
But so I first put out this project, Love Frustrations, I was telling you before we got started.
Yeah.
And we put that out through TuneCore, but TuneCore, they want you to pay $60 a year to keep it up there. And we wasn't really pulling those streams after the first year. So we got that job pulled down. But that was like my first project.
Okay.
Work of art put out. Then 2021 kind of just made a song for the fun of it with my friend Aja. We put that joint out, promoted it for half a day, and you know, man, it's not a lot, but like it's like 500 some streams on Apple Music, and when you don't post it all but one time, and somebody's going back and listening to it, so that's always reassuring. It's like I made something that somebody listened to, and they want to go back and listen to it again. So I know if out of the billions of people in the world, if I get this in front of 2,000 people, maybe at least 10 to 100 people will want to listen to it over again. And so it's like that just kind of was the mindset with that one.
What do you think changed, like when you started taking it seriously from what you were doing before?
I started singing. I've been singing since I was a young boy.
Oh yeah, see, no, the moment realized niggas like you know they can sing. Yeah, you see how shit just changed for niggas. What was that? Oh, wait a minute.
when I started tapping into the R&B, I was like, okay, this is the music that I'm really making from my heart.
Bro, I think that is just such a natural fucking lane for you, bro.
Yeah, no, it's
not to like, you know, obviously like pigeonhole you or anything, but like I just think that like, you know, that's almost like the crossover for AI. Like you ain't need to teach that like that. He just came with that. You know what I mean? Like
you ain't lying, bro. So yeah, I think when I really started to realize like where I found my voice in music is when I just that first singing jam I made.
What made you switch up?
Randomness, just like looking up type beats. Like I think so. I early on in school, in my freshman year, I was listening to a lot of Young Boy, a lot of
oh shit, what's up? So that was the inspiration for that.
So I was wearing, I should have been wearing Black Force.
Yeah,
a pair of black Timbs.
I was about to say, yo, let me tuck my shit room. Yeah,
I was listening to too much Young Boy.
That's hilarious.
And I started to dive into a little bit more Summer Walker. Fires. I was starting to get in my R&B bag.
Okay.
I started looking up Brent Fayez type beats.
Okay.
Giveon type beats.
Okay.
Walker type beats.
Yeah.
And I started getting in my singing bag. I was like, okay, now I'm making music that I actually feel that's true to me. And so that's just kind of where the switch happened.
Okay, word.
That's when I started to get, even though there are some people out there who just, they were introduced to me as TNT Savage.
Yeah.
So that's all they like. They don't like my singing stuff. It's not that they think it's bad. It's just like they like the rapping.
They're not real.
So no, they're real. No, they are real because they like what they like. They're not really
I guess R&B, so. But it's just
R&B
like
fans. So it's like they were like, "You still doing that singing stuff?" Then I'll just randomly make a rap song. I'll send it to them like, "Where's this tone at?" But I'm like, "That's the thing of the past."
Yeah.
I'm in my soulful bag.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So that switch definitely
right here, bro.
Was my phone.
You know you're good, bro.
That switch was definitely necessary.
How far into you making music did that happen?
That probably happened in like year 2.5.
Year 2.5, okay.
Because as soon as I tapped into that bag, it was almost instantly like, okay, it's time to start putting stuff.
Yeah, bro, absolutely.
Consistent with it. So yeah, the switch happened about 2.5 years ago. So.
Okay, word. And then so like was that so your song with your friend? I'm sorry, Naja. Thank you. Was that the first under the R&B wave that you put out?
That was the first like under R&B ish wave. Cause there was still a little bit of like rapping
ish. Yeah. No, like I could tell with the
So the first R&B song I made was actually "Desperate," which is the second song on my Hopeless Romantic project.
Right. Yeah. Facts.
So I made that first, but then. And I made that my senior year of school.
Okay. Okay, so like you were like actually making music like a senior year of school then.
I brought my I had got my first set of equipment during COVID. My dad got my 20th birthday.
I'll shout out to him, man. That's dope.
For sure. Keeping that legacy going.
Yeah.
And then through there I started making upgrades, brought that equipment up to school with me for when we got sent back up there for my senior year.
Right.
And that was one of the first singing songs I made. And then my favorite singing song I had made, what I made at the crib a year after graduation, was Nutritious Love. And so I decided to drop that first. And I was like, I'm big on projects. I like telling stories. I feel like this isn't like dissing any, like, but the state of music, it's not this, it's just reality. The state of music right now, a lot of times doesn't have storytelling throughout an album. It's kind of a bunch of good songs just bundled together.
There's no like themes,
like,
no like motifs.
Yeah, it's like it's not like a you could throw it on shuffle because it doesn't really mean it. Like, it's not that it
No
doesn't mean
cohesiveness.
anything.
Right. Yeah.
Like, Hopeless Romantic was like, this is my story of the positives of love and, you know, the hardships of love as well. So it's like a top from bottom is something that you just gotta listen to and experience for yourself.
Absolutely,
so,
bro.
You know, after Nutritious Love, I was like, oh, yeah, I got to put a project together to, you know, to kind of completely capture this story.
No, absolutely, man. You said you made Hopeless Romantic senior year?
No, I made Hopeless Romantic after I graduated.
After you graduated?
I made it Desperate senior year. Then when I came home, like sometime after I was in my last relationship, I had made Nutritious Love. And then a couple other jams. Well, the rest of the other jams after that.
And Desperate was just a single, correct?
No, Nutritious Love I dropped as a single.
Okay.
Desperate was like, when
8
I made it, I
songs,
just
right?
kind of made it. No, so Hopeless Romantic was the project of 7 songs.
Okay.
Yep. And then Desperate was the second song on that project.
Copy, yeah. Okay,
Nutritious Love I dropped.
Right.
Nutritious Love and Repetition I dropped as singles prior to the project.
Right, because like I was like, I know Hopeless was like 7, 8 songs.
Yeah, Hopeless Romantic was 7.
Like I was like, was Desperate a single that or a EP that you dropped before that, or okay?
No, Desperate's just the second song on Hopeless Romantic.
Okay, word.
Nutritious Love and Repetition or 2 singles that I dropped that are also on the
Okay, word. I mean, bro, just like kind of speak on just like the process of, you know, making Hopeless Romantic, bro. Like, how was that? Like,
so again, like after I had made Nutritious Love, well, actually with Desperate, it was kind of like I made that song, I dropped it on SoundCloud, and then my mom shared it. I had like 200 views in a couple of days, and I know in the grand scheme of things, those were minuscule numbers, but for me, it's always reassuring to have like that wasn't 200 people that tapped in. That was about 10 to 20 people who tapped in.
Yeah.
So somebody in there is listening to this.
Yeah, mad times.
Yeah. On repeat.
Yeah.
So and so for me to only post about it one time and then have people, you know, continuously go back and play it was just like, that's where, again, my first singing song, like, okay, I'm in my singing bed now. People are seeing like, this is Soulful Tone. And so moving forward, I kind of was in my, you know, had gotten into a relationship, and my last ex was definitely the inspiration between, you know, for about 85 to 90.
As they always are.
Hopeless Romantic, if we're being honest, for sure.
As exes usually do inspire.
You know, so they, you know, we won't get too deep into that.
Yeah.
But so Nutritious Love, I had wrote that. And then I kind of just remember like other songs that were in my bag. So I kind of just said, okay, well, I'm gonna go grab Desperate. And that's how I got song 2. And then the rest of the songs were kind of made throughout the course of the relationship through like experiencing the relationship was, you know, I just kind of would get in my bag and so writing jams.
Yeah.
And through no fault of her own, that was some of the only music I made during that process of the relationship. I'm kind of like, I have a kind of an unhealthy way of getting lost in a relationship where I don't like necessarily water my own plants. And so when we were together, I didn't make many songs at all. And that project was basically some of the only music I made throughout that year plus of us together. And then when we separated, I made like 10 songs almost the day we broke up.
Yeah, just like all like the fucking build up, the residue. Yeah, right.
Just, and again, this is not saying, you know, she was the cause of that. It's my own fault.
No, but like at the same time, but like I just by nature of, you know, who you are, I'm sure it was just coming from a place of like you obviously care about this person, so like you're just so engulfed in like you know trying to make sure that they, you know, they're happy, they're like, you know, they're like they're cool, you know, so like I wouldn't necessarily be too hard on yourself for that, you know what I mean? But like it's great that you realize, you know, like that as well in hindsight too, because you know most niggas might just get right back to it.
You know, like for future relationships.
No, bro.
Check myself at the door and, you know, be better with that.
Absolutely, man. And I also want to get your thought on and just, you know, speaking to you know, Hopeless Romantic, and before we move on, I was just watching Mike's process, especially with this last album he's got coming out. Devious drops 412 April 12th. Be prepared for that. But I don't know, man, making an album, making a project, bro, especially about just like the content you're making it about, bro, that shit takes a lot out of you, bro. You know what I mean? Just like rehashing certain situations, like getting yourself in the place, to mentally, express this stuff. You know what I mean? So like when you were all, said and done with like, Hopeless Romantic, like did it just kind of feel like did you feel lighter? Did you feel like there was a weight maybe like, lifted, or like were you just like more so drained, like damn, like that, took a piece, out of me as it like, rightfully should with like any genuinely creative work, you know what I mean?
Honestly, for me, I wouldn't say it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I really I love music, so I just enjoy the entire process of it, because it's like, whether it's a song about hardships or a song about being a romantic or whatever it was, I don't know, music just, the way it's translated to me, it never felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but I never felt like drained doing it. It was just always something I had a good time doing.
Of course.
A big thing with me is, like, I make music for myself, but I also do make it to be consumed as well.
Yeah.
And like, especially when it's revolved around love, I want people to be able to listen to it, to relate to it, to heal through it, or to be inspired by it. And so it's like, I knew through telling my story with Hopeless Romantic, people could connect to that. And so it was never drained. It was more so like a finally.
Yeah.
It was like I'm glad this is finally getting.
Yeah, just so like, whoever, can relate to that.
Yeah, for sure.
At least has that source.
Yep. And then just real quick, another thing with that, like, to speak on that, Nutritious Love and Moving On were and Repetition were 3 of the songs that were like, I was feeling those feelings in real time when I made the songs.
Okay.
And I feel like those are some of my better songs. It's like, I like all of them, but sometimes you might not necessarily be feeling something, but you could pull from
like retroactively go back and like
put yourself in those shoes.
Exactly.
But Nutritious Love, we were in a good place in a relationship, and I was writing that song.
Damn.
Even though it was like right at the end of our relationship.
That's crazy.
Repetition was right after an argument.
That's crazy.
It's like,
wow. Yeah.
It's like there's no such thing as writer's blocks for me when I'm living that situation. It's so real at that time. Like, I can easily pull influence, to just kind of speak on it. And Moving On, man, shout out that song. It's definitely, I think it's one of the first songs I had that, like, somebody responded and told me, like, they actually shed a tear at it. And
that's crazy.
Like, so it's just, I don't know, man. Music's a beautiful thing.
Nah, man. Shout out to music and all facets, bro. Just kind of moving forward. I know you don't cuss in your songs, bro. So like, does that add like a certain layer of difficulty? Because like, I don't like, obviously y'all are wordsmiths, like, artists or like, singer songwriters, like y'all work with words all the time. Not adding taking out the element of cussing. Obviously, like, I don't think it's like a super necessity like within music, but I do know that like finding alternate words to describe something when you could have just been like, oh, like that was bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like it can kind of be like a little bit of like a game to like find alternative like shit to express yourself. You know what I mean? So like so, was that the case for you, or like
for me it was there's multiple things that go into me making clean music. One thing I would definitely say is my faith. And I know that, like, right now, even outside of my music, I do use profanity.
Yeah.
A little bit more than I need to, and it's something I'm working to correct and not use it as much. So it's like, I know that the further I get in my career, and I'm not gonna want to have to take an old song I did because it has cuss words in it.
Yeah.
Especially when I start to get more of a light shine. What is it, shine on me?
Yeah.
Shine did it?
Shine did it?
One of them words, you know what I'm saying? When that attention comes, I want to have to go replace a song because, I was using profanity. Even Repetition actually is the only song I think that I, said the S word a couple times.
Yeah, no, fast. But, like, why would you feel like you would necessarily, like, need to remove it down the line?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know how, I don't know, just, like, the negative attention that comes with, being like a Christian artist, like, and this, like, there are a bunch of, I don't want to call them fake Christians, but like people who are overly judgmental.
Yeah, right.
Like sometimes they will just make it seem as if I'm not a real Christian.
Yeah, under the guise of like, let me talk and shit under the guise of Christianity. Like,
so I say could kind of avoid some of that negative light, but also just for me, like, I just partially want to be digestible through all groups of people.
Okay, fair. Okay, no, yeah, facts.
Kind of like that early Justin Bieber wave. It's like, I don't want to a parent to have to tell their kid don't play that because you gotta censor it.
Yeah.
I don't want my grandma not being able to listen to it. I want her to be able to go gloat about it to whoever she gloats about it to. And like something that's been amazing for me is just seeing that I can have something like a recent song "Insecure" that I dropped. That I had a music video as
we're definitely gonna touch on that, absolutely.
So with that, it's like I had one of my dad's friend, Mr. Anthony, who plays the piano. He played it for his 5th grade class. Said the kids loved it. I'm not sure exactly his age, but I got my Aunt Nancy, who's like 70, 80 years old. She likes the song. People my age group, they feel the song. So it's being able to have something that can be relatable and digestible at all age groups, and not have to put a censor on it. Is definitely something that is definitely is important to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just because to your points, like as far as like having stuff, your grandma could listen to, 100% get that. Like not to keep bringing it back to Mike, but like he dropped a dance project under that same sentiment, like because like he's a very expressive nigga. You know what I mean? So like all his songs aren't necessarily clean. You know what I mean? So like he wanted to like you said, drop something so like he can play for his grams. But then when you mention like, oh, like, the fake Christians, I mean, yo, and excuse my French, but fuck those niggas, bro. Like, who gives, yeah. For real, like, bro, come on, son. I'm just saying that as far as like, don't let that be the reason, like, because like you're thinking that like, maybe 5-10 years online, like I understand. We're just like the type of, society, like, like we living in, like, niggas digging back 25 years, like, trying to, lambast you for shit. But as far as that, bro, like, I understand the thought process, but, like, at the same time, it's just like, bro, who gives a fuck if you don't like me cussing in a song 10 years later? Like, fuck out of here, bro. But
testimony is definitely an important part.
Yeah.
Of the growth process. Of
no, definitely.
Like the walk in faith and everything like that. So a lot of people have passed before they're saved.
Yeah.
Once they are saved, they kind of forget that they come from somewhere. So I don't know. That's just again that's not the main reason. But
no,
yeah,
absolutely
sure,
not.
Sure.
Yeah, no. And like I get you, bro. And like
definitely a multifaceted.
I get the sentiment. I get what you're saying, man. Fuck those niggas, bro. Those niggas are bullshit. Yeah.
But another thing you had just kind of asked about, like, is it hard?
Yeah. I was gonna say, right.
Is it hard to kind of make music without? I look at it as code switching. Like there's people that's a good point. There's people who I won't cuss around
for sure. No, absolutely.
With my dogs, I know how you might.
Yeah. No.
Spicy there.
Facts.
So it's like as soon as I throw on a beat, my brain automatically switches. It's like I'm using different vocabulary.
Yeah, no. And no, bro. Like I think that's a brilliant point. You know what I mean? So like, like I think that answered the question, perfectly, bro. So that's super dope. I want to talk about various tones, man. I like that was a project just like in my research that just really stood out to me. Like I think, and like not to like minimize it at all, but like just like as far as anyone in the city, bro, like that was something I was just like, yo, this is like you don't sound. I haven't heard no shit like this from no one like in Pittsburgh, bro. And like I fucked with it a lot, and what was so apparent is like what I liked about it most is like it just showcased your personality, which I'm always champion. Like if I see an artist like just being themselves, and like I'm just like, that's ill, you know what I mean? Because like that's what everyone just wants to do at every level, just like be themselves. So that was what I noticed. And like too, like nigga, you look like you were having mad fun. Even like promoting it, just like with like the promotional videos that went into it. Again, like with you and Sam Ray, just like the beats you were choosing, I mean, I was just like this is some shit like you clearly fuck with and like are having fun, bro. So I mean, I just want to know like if that was the case for you and just like kind of like what the process was in you making that project.
So various tones, I consider myself to be a chameleon. Like I feel like I can adapt to the like a majority of people, like just friend groups, and so like again, I grew up going to St. Benedict Moore School, was like primarily black. So I just like kind of grew up around my people, obviously. But then I went to Central Catholic, which is primarily white, playing football. So I was had a friend group of those people, and then it's like I've just taken bits and pieces from a bunch of different cultures and backgrounds.
Right.
So it's allowed me to kind of and again, pops is 65 years old, so I grew up listening to funk music. So to kind of break down various genres, it is like it's 8 songs, 8 different genres. I got a Christian hip hop song on there.
You could say it was various tones throughout the project.
There was it's a double entendre, various tones. I am tones. Soulful tones also.
I'm corny for that, bro. Continue, my nigga.
It needs to be addressed.
That's mad funny. Yeah,
but, so there's just a bunch of different sounds on there, man. And that has just come through all of the different music that I've brought up and introduced to, and the different crowds of people that I've been amongst. So that was kind of the idea with that. Again, like part of it is also to showcase my writing ability, because I think like 7 out of 8 songs were written. I think one of them I might just kind of punch them bar for bar.
Yeah, right.
Since that's still like writing to a sense. So I would just say that overall that project was just built in like I want to do something different that I haven't necessarily seen done before. Because people will drop projects with like it's sonically different, but they can still be grouped into like 1 or 2 overall genres. So like to come in with 8 songs that like sound nothing alike.
Yeah, bro, right. But then it also thematically fit as well. Like they were individual from each other, but like it felt in like the overall theme of like in like what you were doing on the project. Yeah,
100%. So it was just like, and that was just a fun project where I just felt like I call myself the people's artist.
Yeah,
there's only about 2 or 3 other people who refer to me as the people's artist, but once more than one person other than myself it, I think
that's your moniker now. Yeah.
So it's like that's a brand that I'm still trying to grow. But like in order to be the people's artist, I had to make music for all people. So like again, that was volume 1. There's thousands, at least hundreds of genres out there.
Yeah.
So there will be more projects like that in the future where I just kind of explore other genres, and I mean, people could call it experimental or whatever. I just call it, making music.
Right.
I'm a maker of music. So, and
I wouldn't say it was experimental. Yeah. Again, like I felt like you were in a lane that just naturally fit you. Yeah, sure. It didn't feel like you was trying enough. It didn't feel like you was like it was just you rocking, for sure. And that's just what it was. Like,
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, so that's definitely the most fun that I've had with music thus far.
Yeah, no, I remember I could tell that shit was dope.
It was a great time, and shout out to everybody in the process that helped me put that together. Turn me up tone. Shout out Be With The Heat. Shout out my boy Miles. You're busy, man. That's the same dude, man.
Yeah, not fair.
Just everybody, Sam and Ray, Luca Lenses. Everybody who helped that project be what it is, man. Just definitely a special shout out to y'all.
Nah, bro, definitely. And like, if just you want, like, kind of want to talk on, like, maybe just some of the behind the scenes as far as like the production process, the mixing and mastering, like, was that all done by you? And I know like you just mentioned a slew of people, like who as far as that, like, hooked you up?
I think about 5 of the 8 songs were mixed by Turn Me Up Tone.
Okay.
When I originally went to him for Fight Back, because he's in the rock band, everything like that.
Okay.
Shout out No Sleep for Zombies. So I already knew that was in his bag, something that he would be able to bring that sound out. So I took Fight Back to him, which is like a punk rock song, and he turned that joint up. I just really enjoyed working with him and his just like personality and everything, his flow of work. So like I'll bring a couple more songs back to him, and that's he did like a good amount of that project. Then there's a few ones on there that my boy Bino did. You're busy. You got like 6 names. But yeah, so he did Let Me, Under the Sun, and Picture Perfect. And, he worked on those with me. And like, again, that's my brother. He out the way right now, but I definitely miss my dog, man. We definitely got a lot of work coming out in the future. But that was kind of the man behind the sound on those.
Okay, right.
And so that was just a really fun process getting all of those together.
Okay.
Out of the 3 that he makes, I kind of had a little piece of the arrangement and working around that as well. Just trying to, because I mean, we did it on my laptop and everything.
It's something. Oh yeah, my fault. Like, not even to cut you off. Like is that like in that process? Is that something that like you usually get other people to do, or like are you like, do you have experience like kind of like mixing and mastering your own shit?
I wouldn't. Most of my experience comes from stuff I've learned from my cousin, or Miles, like some stuff from YouTube. So it's like a little bit, but again, I still consider myself to not be able to get the most professional sound that I desire. But I mean, I would say I'm more than an amateur. Like I know.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I know
Okay.
a little bit about a little bit. I could
Copy.
teach you a little something.
Yeah.
for sure,
Right.
at
Right.
least a little far past the basics.
Yeah. Right.
So I have a general idea of how to do some things with some buttons.
Yeah. But like when you want like a certain shit down.
Yeah. It's like so. For me, I feel like I can get something that's good enough to listen to.
Right.
But I think at the moment I still go outside to
like
order
tweak
to get
it
it drop ready.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Copy. Okay. Okay.
So I'm working on refining those.
Got you.
For sure, but,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where the sound comes from.
Okay.
I would say again. Oh yeah, shout out my boy Ro, the model. How could I forget, bro? That's all the photo shoots I did for that project.
Okay.
Man. So I actually met him at this random show I did at the Forge. I was like a fill-in. I wasn't supposed to be there. That's how I met bro, and he promised me like, hey, first shoot I got you for the free ski. Put it to sound like, hey bro, like. This first one's gonna be like I got 8 outfits that I need to go through. It's not gonna be a regular shoot, and our first shoot was like 6-7 hours.
Damn.
And he was gonna do it for free. Obviously, I couldn't let him.
Yeah.
Like, so that's I always had to tell that story because he's a man of his word, and he's great to work with. You know
Absolutely.
it's like the patience he showed was ridiculous, man. Because we was outside for a minute making that happen.
Yeah.
So it's just like. Everything that the outfit selection, just like shout out my pops. Some of the fits I wore were straight from his closet.
Okay, word.
There's this other store. I think it's called All of Us. It's this store up in the Monroeville Mall. And I'm struggling to find the word. I think it's All of Us Together or something like that.
Yeah.
That's where I got a couple of the fits from. And so that whole process was just fun, putting everything together to try to match the vibe of the song, so everything has a different feel to it. So I mean, there's that was just like a great time holistically.
Yeah, nah, man, and like I could fucking tell. Like I mean, like I was just even like watching, just like some of the content, some of the other promo videos you and Samurai was shooting, and just even hearing some of the songs, I was like, yo, like I can just tell y'all having mad fun.
Yeah.
And even speaking of Samurai, man, shout out to Samurai, friend of the show, man.
Yep.
Y'all bullshit, man. Like, when y'all gonna collab, son? Like, cause
we gonna tap in,
bro. Like, cause like I'm watching the promo videos for various tones. I'm just like, okay, like I like this. They gotta have a song together. If I'm seeing there, if I'm following the Soulful Tone cinematic universe right now. I should expect a collab, bro. Yeah, the Soulful verse, facts. So like I'm like scouring fucking various tones trying to look for. I'm just like, is she not on here? And I feel like she would have banged something out on that fucking. Like she would have bodied some shit on that.
Another thing we kind of mentioned earlier. Me and her are definitely going to work.
Yeah, for sure.
Together, she's actually helped me with one of the jams that will be releasing here on an upcoming project. Shout out to her. And then, like, we've been in the studio together. We got the chemistry, and that time is definitely coming where we make something together. But I think for me, my first project that I ever put out was the Helpless Romantic under name, and it was a whole joint album with my boy Bane. And so it's like right now I'm kind of in that era of just trying to push all my sound. And I'm not saying if I'm featuring somebody or somebody's featuring this my sound. But they're just like 3 pillars of who I am as an artist that I'm trying to push out into the world before I start getting into like the whole collaboration scene.
Okay.
So again, there's a lot of people in the city that I want to collaborate with. And she is 100% somebody that's at the top of that list. So that day is coming for sure.
No, bro, because I was just like, nah, man. We like again, like I think that there's certain songs on various tones that. You know what I mean? Like, she would have, knocked out the fucking park. Yeah. But nah, man, like, I'm excited to see, what the future holds, just like as far as, like, y'all's collaboration and stuff like that.
100%.
I do, because, like, you did mention it earlier, I do want to, touch on the Insecure music video, bro. And, like, you dropped that pretty recently, right?
Yeah. It was about probably like a month and a half ago.
Okay, yeah. So, like 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, like, removed for it, bro. Again, just another just visual project or just like thing that you released that I could tell like you were just kind of in your element. You know what I mean? So just like kind of like speak on the experience of like making that video? Who did you work with? Was it some of the same people that you worked with on various tones as far as that?
So
Or
this one was new. I was working with I don't know if y'all know Zeno, but he's super talented. But what he does, he makes music as well. He does all type of stuff. He's a man that wears many hats.
Correct.
But that was just a really great project because he works like me. He's real tedious. Every detail matters, and like he's the kind of guy. Like I've worked with people who aren't super patient, and they're like once they get something that's good, they kind of want to leave it good. And he's somebody who pays attention to every single detail.
Absolutely.
He's okay with doing something 100 times until it gets right. And so like the process of that is like the way that video came about. We both had ideas of scenes we wanted to shoot it at, and it all like kind of fell through. It didn't work out. We were going to use this auditorium where we used to have classes at in Oakland. That didn't work out, and there was just so many ideas that just didn't work out. So through some spontaneity, we actually ended up at spontaneity, whatever. I know English, but words are hard. We ended up at the Cathedral Learning, and that room was just cinematically, I think, fit that video more than anywhere else we could have ended up.
It was dope,
and so obviously the second part of that, the outside scene, we wanted to also decide to be outside of where the inside scene was to, kind of fit conceptually. And so that was just a great process. I also had some additional help from Zal Visuals. She's a photographer, valid. She's around the scene right now, going to a bunch of shows, just helping us artists, look good on the camera right now.
Yeah.
So she was definitely instrumental in making that video happen as well, and getting some behind the scene footage. So those were definitely my two helpers on and making that come to life, man. So that was a very fun project, and the first music video that I got out there to the world, and there are many more to follow.
Absolutely, man. And we are very excited to see what you come up with, man. So bro, I just want to thank you for taking the time to come up, Tone, in the fucking building, man. I know you got a performance coming up, man. So this is just the point of the power. The floor is yours. Anything like you got working on coming up, where they can find you at, make sure you plug away. But my nigga, it was great talking to you, man.
Sure.
Thank you for coming through.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely,
on,
bro.
For sure, I'm interested and excited about everything that this podcast has coming up, man. It's great for the community. Just to plug myself real quick, again, my name is Soulful Tone. You can find me on all platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff at Soulful Tone. On Instagram, just add an underscore to the end of that. I just dropped a single on Easter called Merciful, so y'all should definitely get in that. We still in the Easter season. I got a acoustic project dropping at the end of this month. Got a show coming up on the 11th, and another one at the Forge on the 25th. I don't know when this episode is gonna be dropping, so hopefully y'all see
next
that
Sunday. Yeah,
next Sunday. All right, bet. So yeah, I might miss this next Thursday one, but the 25th y'all can see me. I'll be headlining over at the Forge. I just got a lot of stuff in the works, man. So I won't speak on too much of it right now, but just stay tuned.
Absolutely, man. And catch them when you catch them. Listen, man, MIC Podcast, episode 114, community content. You get it all here. We got Soulful Tone in the building, and we're out, bro. Peace.
Yes, sir.